Hi there, this is Brent Harris. I'm a life coach, and what I do is I show people how to actualize all of their human potential. So you just get a lot of people out there who, they operate their lives on, say, one level, and in their imagination, they have this idea of what their lives could be like, the level that they could be playing at, the things that they could be achieving, the things that they could be doing, and just various different improvements that could be made on their life experience. Sometimes people are able to do this, sometimes people find it difficult to do this, to kind of like upgrade themselves to the next level. And typically what's really helpful in order to go from level A to level B is to have somebody to hold space, to facilitate and coach and channel wisdom so that you can go from the level that you're at to the next level that you intend to be on. And so that is the role of a life coach, and that's what I do for people. And so if you're new to this channel, the purpose of this channel is that in my sessions and in my readings and meditations and just, as I speak with people, I find that I just have a lot of insights and a lot of new ways and techniques that surface from, that just come up, that I really want to make sure that I share them with a lot of people, as many people as possible, because they tend to be very powerful. They tend to get a lot of results. They tend to be intuitive, and they're just great. So in this channel, I offer them for free, and I hope that you feel comfortable and guided to come back to this channel and just, kind of immerse yourself in the energies and to kind of to learn and to recalibrate and to use what you find here to guide yourself to the next level that you see in your imagination. So to that end, I want to preface this by saying that I've been making videos for a few months now and just kind of getting more comfortable with it over time. Part of that becoming more comfortable with it is the subject matter that I choose to work with. Because in my own life, I do a lot of reading, and I listen to a lot of speakers that I admire, and I personally tend and prefer to go to more esoteric styles of thought, so more out there styles of talk. There are healing modalities out there that are conventionally very challenging to people's ideas of what's real or not real, what's true or not true, what's possible or what's not possible. Excuse me, I'm a little bit parched. So we have modalities like theta healing, access consciousness, Reiki hands-on healing, working with energies, working with chi, working with God, working with spirits, this kind of thing. And so I've been kind of holding off on that kind of conversation, because it tends to beget a lot of debate and a lot of argument, a lot of criticism, and a lot of outcry. And that's just kind of generally the type of attention that I would have preferred to avoid. But nevertheless, in my own personal life and in my work with my clients, I get so much very powerful, tangible, real benefit, real quick, effective, permanent benefit with it, that I just feel compelled to share it with you, what I've learned in my own interpretation of it, so that you can use it. And so if you listen to a lot of this, and if you find skepticism emerging within you, I want you to know that it's totally good, and skepticism is I find it very healthy. Because without that sort of what Mike Mandel calls the critical faculty, if that's not there, then all you're doing is just believing everything that's told to you, and that's really not safe. So it's really important to kind of have a little bit of like an evaluation there. Okay, this is true, this is not true, based on what I feel is true. But you can also go really far in the other direction with skepticism, where you're just like 100% skeptical about everything except, say, what appears in a scientific journal that's been accredited and reviewed by a panel. And it's like you have at that point, it's like having like this big sort of reality, kind of like everything's cut up and put in this little box that hardly has any value anymore. So in this video, I guess part of this video is an invitation for you to find a healthy skepticism. If you're overly trusting and overly believing, you may want to address that and develop your own sense of authority and critical thinking. But if you find that you're a person who really emphasizes critical thinking to the point where you call like 99% of everything bullshit except for your 1% of what you feel is right, you may want to evaluate that too and relax those boundaries. Because otherwise, you miss out on a lot of benefit, you miss out on a lot of goodness and really valuable stuff. So that's all the preface. I'm going to get into the talk now. I want to speak to you about intention. So the gift in this talk that I'm offering is that if you accept and pay attention to what I'm offering here, it can totally reframe how you approach the changes that you want to make in your life. It can help you overcome areas of your life that you've been struggling with for perhaps a long time. Even if you've been struggling with an aspect of your life for, say, years or even decades, just because you've spent that much time struggling doesn't mean that you need to spend that much time turning it around or righting it. Typically, struggle is something that we just do until we stop struggling, until we just kind of hit this wall where we're like, okay, I need to find another way now. I need to find something else, that will allow me to get the result that I'm after because I'm just tired of struggling. It's kind of strange because we believe that it's almost like there's a progress meter when it comes to struggle, where it's like if I struggle for 100% of the struggle requirement, once I hit that 100% mark, then all the prizes start coming in. But it actually doesn't work that way. Struggle just begets more struggle. Struggle is just something that you do until you stop doing it. I want to invite you to switch from struggle to intention. Before anything happens in physical reality, there is an intention. So speaking most basically, suppose I want to pick up my left hand. I do so. But just prior to that movement, there was an intention to move my hand. And the physical matter of my body, I can move with my intention, and that's something that we all tend to agree on, that's possible. You can move your bodies. But I want to suggest also that you can use your intention to influence other physical matter. And not just physical matter, but the events of your life. So my day job is a fundraiser. When I'm not coaching, I'm a fundraiser. And I do face-to-face fundraising. Used to be on streets, now lately it's in malls. And so I sign up people for monthly donations for the charity of choice. And when I do this, a lot of people come by and they say, oh man, like that's a really tough job that you have, it must be really hard. And it's actually not, because I receive donations because I intend to get donations in. This is something that I discovered. At first, what I was doing was I thought that I got donations based on the techniques that I used. So maybe I say hello in a certain way, or I use certain conversational tactics, or I guide the conversation in a certain way, or I speak to certain points, or I, kind of create a sense of urgency, something like that. And that would have, some kind of influence. But what I found is that if I stop paying so much attention to the level of technique, and I bring my attention to the level of intention, what do I actually intend to have happen over the course of the day? Suddenly, it's almost like I'm I'm working with the universe. Suddenly, it's like my nervous system actually extends not just out to my fingers and my hands, but to the whole cosmos. And then the universe becomes an extension of myself, just as I am an extension of the universe. Now there's as a general rule, if you set an intention, if you intend for something to happen, I intend to get donations, I intend to move my hand, I intend to become rich, I intend to become physically fit, I intend to heal my leg, I intend to cook a dinner. The universe just tends to respond to intention. The only thing that tends to curtail that effect is on the level of belief, because we also have beliefs about what is true, what's not true, what's real and what's not real, what's possible and what's not possible. And if we intend for something to happen, but at the same time, we don't believe that it's possible that it will happen, or we don't really deep down expect it to happen, then we're kind of sending mixed messages to the universe. And the one that's held strongest will tend to win out, because the universe will always match our basic beliefs about reality. That's why. So, okay, at this point in the conversation, a lot of people will say, well, this sounds a lot like the law of attraction. This sounds a lot like The Secret. And the things with The Secret, if you're not familiar with it, it's like a movie, and it's also a book that came out in '08, and it's roughly about the material that I'm describing here. It's very, very polarizing, this kind of subject matter. And it's polarizing because some people read it, use the material, work with it, and they get results, and they're like, the law of attraction is real. And then there's other people who are like, no, it's bullshit, and perhaps they'll even offer a cursory, perfunctory effort towards making it happen, and they'll do their best. My cat is like, why are you talking at your phone right now? There we go. I think she may knock it over, so I'm just going to move her. This is Miso. All right, Lovey. Okay. And then their impression of what's real or not real, possible or not possible, is reflected to them. So they say the law of attraction is bullshit, The Secret is bullshit, and then they get that reflected back to them in their reality. Reality always matches what you believe about it. So, whatever change you wish to make in your life, it's not a matter of effort. It's not a matter of work. We always think, oh, I'm just going to work. I'm going to hit the books. I'm going to get up early and I'm going to do it. And all those things are valid and relevant. We're not discounting them. Like, working is good and important, but working alone doesn't get you results. Struggle alone doesn't just get you results. The application of effort alone doesn't get you what you're after. And in fact, in most cases, if you're applying struggle and effort, it probably means that you don't actually intend to receive what you're asking for. That's what I was referring earlier to about making the switch from struggle to intention. Take a moment. Think about something that you've been struggling with for a little while and ask yourself, and it's time for honesty now, do I really intend to receive that which I'm struggling toward? You may be surprised to discover that you don't, that really you're just making gestures towards that which you're after. And to complete the experiment, try this. Try saying to yourself, suppose it's to lose weight. Say, I intend to lose weight. I intend to lose 10 pounds this month or over the next 2 months. How does that feel? it probably feels a mixture of invigorating and scary, or you may be getting this sort of like, yes, but no. Like, yes, I can, yes, it's possible, but no, I can't, no, it's impossible. So what that means is that on some level, you don't believe that you can actually receive what you're asking for, or you don't believe that this is possible for you. And so in that case, you would want to get into belief work. Which I don't really have time to get into in this video. It's a little bit different, but essentially find a way to work directly with your beliefs about what's possible. And the biggest key there, and I promise I'll get into it later, but the biggest key for belief work is to be really, really willing to question what you believe is true and not true, correct or incorrect, possible or not possible. The extent to which you're willing to throw all that up in the air and just come up with a fresh new idea of these qualities, that will allow you to work more directly with intention and just walk through the door, just make the changes that you're after. So, yeah, okay, so we're starting to wrap up now. So, experiment. I want to invite you, this is your homework for this session here. I want to invite you to experiment with intention. Experiment with different things. So set an intention for a day. Wake up, set an alarm, give yourself a reminder that kind of just as you get out of bed, like when you wake up, right? You wake up out of your dream state, your sleep state, you get up, and then there's this little window just before all of the shit starts to like kind of settle in, all of your programming, all of your problems, everything you're arranging, everything you're doing. Prior to all that coming in, set an intention. Say, I intend to have a good day. I intend to receive a gift today. I intend to laugh really hard today. I intend to have an unusually good day, whatever it is. And ideally, you want to kind of come right up against the boundary of what you believe is possible. So if you're to say, I intend to receive $100,000, and you don't really see that happening, then probably don't do that. But try this. Try, I intend to receive a loonie, a Canadian dollar today. Try that out. Try also experimenting with rolling dice or flipping coins, where you're working with just probabilities, where it's like when you roll the dice, you're supposed to get a 1/6 of the time, or you're supposed to get heads 50% of the time, and flip the coin and intend to get heads 8 times out of 10. See what happens. Because as a general rule, reality is a reflection of intention, not of probability, unless that's what you believe. Cool. That's all I got for you. Next up will be a discussion of belief work. Thank you for being here. And if you want a one-on-one session to really see what this is like, hit me up for a free session to try it out for yourself. I think you'll be blown away by the value you get. This work is incredibly transformative. My prices are reasonable. We should really work together. All right, take care. I love you. Goodbye.